All right, good morning. Here we are, March 18th. Here's my morning message for you guys today. Happiness is a choice. You can choose to be happy. There's going to be stress in your life, but it's your choice whether you let it affect you or not. So, probably a pretty important morning message meeting today, considering all that's going on with everything in our world. It's kind of unusual that this is what's going on, but we got to do the best we can and try to get through it. So that's what we're going to do. Keep on keeping on and try to not worry about things we can't control. Just control ourselves and what we can do about everything. So I hope you're having a good time with your families, getting some good quality family time in there. We've been doing weird things at my house. We played ping pong the other night. We've been working on puzzles. Just kind of hanging out. My daughters have been working on their homework too. So just try to keep things normal. One thing I want to let you guys know is that there's a really cool website or whatever you want to call it called Zoom, which it's basically a conferencing app. So if we end up going longer than after spring break for this whole thing, if you download the Zoom app, you can put it on your Chromes, you could add it to your favorites. And the cool thing about that is we can conference together. So we could pretty much have the whole class on there together, having a meeting. We could see each other, we can talk. So I'd like you to check that out. Because if it goes later than next week and we're still at home, I think it'd be a nice way for all of us to gather at least once a day or every couple days or so and just see how we're all doing. Be a good way to do some math lessons and things like that. So check it out. It's Zoom. I've already set up my account. I've been playing around with it here at home, so I think it'll work pretty good. Shout out to Mrs. Finch because she's the one that found it. But for now, enjoy. Here is Chapter 6 of Stone Fox. Little Willie went to see Mayor Smiley at the City Hall building in town to sign up for the race. The mayor's office was large and smelled like hair tonic. The mayor sat in a bright red chair with his feet on his desk. There was nothing on the desk except the mayor's feet. We have a race for you youngsters 1 hour before. Mayor Smiley mopped the sweat from his neck with a silk handkerchief, although Little Willie thought it was quite cool in the room. I want to enter the real race, Mr. Mayor. You must be funnin', boy. The mayor laughed twice and blotted his neck. Anyway, there's an entrance fee. How much? $50. Little Willie was stunned. That was a lot of money just to enter a race. But he was determined. He ran across the street to the bank. Don't be stupid, Mr. Foster told Little Willie. This is not a race for amateurs. Some of the best dog teams in the Northwest will be entering. I have Searchlight. We go fast as lightning. Really, Mr. Foster, we do. Mr. Foster shook his head. You don't stand a chance of winning. Yes, we do. Willie, the money in your savings account is for your college education. You know I can't give it to you. You have to. I do? It's my money. Little Willie left the bank with a stack of $10 gold pieces, 5 of them to be exact. He walked into the mayor's office and plopped the coins down on the mayor's desk. Me and Searchlight are going to win that $500, Mr. Mayor. You'll see. Everybody'll see. Mayor Smiley counted the money, wiped his neck, and entered Little Willie in the race. When Little Willie stepped out of the City Hall building, he felt 10 feet tall. He looked up and down the snow-covered street. He was grinning from ear to ear. Searchlight walked over and stood in front of the sled, waiting to be hitched up. But Little Willie wasn't ready to go yet. He put his thumbs in his belt loops and let the sun warm his face. He felt great. In his pocket was a map Mayor Smiley had given him showing the 10 miles the race covered. Down Main Street, right on North Road, Little Willie could hardly hold back his excitement. 5 miles of the race he traveled every day and knew with his eyes closed. The last 5 miles were back into town along South Road, which was mostly straight and flat. It's speed that would count here, and with the lead he knew he could get in the first 5 miles. Little Willie was sure he could win. As Little Willie hitched Searchlight to the sled, something down at the end of the street, some moving objects, caught his eye. They were difficult to see because they were all white. There were 5 of them, and they were beautiful. In fact, they were the most beautiful Samoyeds Little Willie had ever seen. The dogs held their heads up proudly and strutted in unison. They pulled a large but lightly constructed sled. They also pulled a large, but by no means lightly constructed, man. Way down at the end of the street, the man looked normal, but as the sled got closer, the man got bigger and bigger. The man was an Indian, dressed in furs and leather, with moccasins that came all the way up to his knees. His skin was dark, his hair was dark, and he wore a dark-colored headband. His eyes sparkled in the sunlight, but the rest of his face was as hard as stone. The sled came to a stop right next to Little Willie. The boy's mouth hung open as he tilted his head way back to look up at the man. Little Willie had never seen a giant before. Gosh, Little Willie gasped. The Indian looked at Little Willie. His face was solid granite, but his eyes were alive and cunning. Howdy, Little Willie blurted out, and he gave a nervous smile. But the Indian said nothing. His eyes shifted to Searchlight, who let out a soft moan but did not bark. The giant walked into the City Hall building. Word that Stone Fox had entered the race spread throughout the town of Jackson within the hour, and throughout the state of Wyoming within the day. Stories and legends about the awesome mountain man followed shortly. Little Willie heard many of them at Lester's general store. Was this time in Denver? He snapped a man's back with 2 fingers, said Dusty, the town drunk, but nobody believed him really. Little Willie learned that no white man had ever heard Stone Fox talk. Stone Fox refused to speak with the white man because of the treatment his people had received. His tribe, the Shoshone, who were peaceful seed gatherers, had been forced to leave Utah and settle on a reservation in Wyoming with another tribe called the Arapaho. Stone Fox's dream was for his people to return to their homeland. Stone Fox was using the money he won from racing to simply buy the land back. He'd already purchased 4 farms and over 200 acres. That Stone Fox was smart, all right. In the next week, Little Willie and Searchlight went over the 10-mile track every day until they knew every inch of it by heart. Stone Fox hardly practiced at all. In fact, Little Willie only saw Stone Fox do the course once, and then he was sure he wasn't going very fast. The race was scheduled for Saturday morning at 10 o'clock. Only 9 sleds were entered. Mayor Smiley had hoped for more contestants, but after Stone Fox had entered, well, you couldn't blame people for wanting to save their money. It was true Stone Fox had never lost a race, but Little Willie wasn't worried. He made up his mind to win, and nothing was going to stop him, not even Stone Fox. There you go. So, you have several characters you could be adding to your character pages. Lester, for sure. Stone Fox. Who else? Who else? Anybody? Mayor Smiley? You think about it. Add a couple more. Make sure you give some good details. Also, if you get time, I want you to go back into that chapter. Definitely there's some metaphors in there. I want you to see if you can find at least one. Remember what a metaphor is. It's like a simile, which uses the words like or as when comparing, right? But metaphors are similar to that, but they don't use those 2 words. So go back in there and see if you can find one. Okay? If you can find 2, that'd be great. Have a good day. I will see you tomorrow. Remember to check out that Zoom website. It's pretty cool. Try to get your account set up so that when and if we have to use that, you're ready to go. I will talk to you soon. Miss you guys. See you later. Have a good day.